Hi, welcome to Gabie's Knit Goodies. I'm Gabie and today is all about the Neigh sweater by Caitlin Hunter of Boyland Knitworks. Alright, let's get into it. So I made this sweater for my daughter, and I made the smallest size in the pattern. I knitted out of Coffee with Cream at Gabie's Knit Goodies, DK weight yarn, merino nylon, and then the reddish brown is the Mexican hot chocolate colorway, and then these little bits of contrast I held my Maleficent colorway, double, the fine weight yarn double, just for those little trim pieces. I love how it turned out, and so does my daughter, and I did do one, I guess, somewhat major modification having to do with the sleeves. Everything else I knit to pattern. I did use the jacquard, ladder back jacquard method for the floats and the body here. You can kind of see that it takes some getting used to, but I think that the effort is worth it, so that I didn't have all of the little contrast color poking through in all of those areas between the horses. I thought it was a cleaner look using that method versus just the normal picking it up. See, she has 4 horses on her main body. This is knit bottom up. Yes, it is knit bottom up. Use your chart, and then you separate for the sleeves, and you knit the top and the back, and then you do a 3 needle bind off at the shoulder, which makes a nice shoulder seam. One plus about having a seam at the shoulders is that it provides a little more structure, a little more strength, especially for sleeves that are all over colorwork, because they're a little bit heavier than just a plain sleeve. For the sleeves, I did not do the ladder back jacquard. I just picked up the stitches like normal. I initially did one sleeve with the ladder back jacquard, but then it made it too heavy. Yeah. Let me give you an up-close picture of it, and then I'll tell you about my major modification that I did. You do pick up stitches for the collar at the end after you've done everything else, and knit that, and it is twisted ribbing for all of the hems, cuffs, and collar. She has been wearing it, so this is a currently worn piece until here recently when it's gotten warm. I don't remember how much of each skein that I used. I think it was 2 of the red and 3 of the coffee with cream, but I will double check, and I will put the numbers on the screen with how many skeins. Each skein is 100 grams, 245 yards. Yeah. I think it turned out really cute, and she really likes it. And she looks really cute in it. I will put pictures up that I took of her, and if I can get her to give me a little video, I will. She doesn't love the whole camera thing. Alright, I will lay that here while I tell you all about the numbers and modifications. So initially when I knit this, and before it was blocked, The pattern says that the smallest size number 1, will have a chest circumference of 37.5 inches. And mine was measuring 32 before blocking, and now measures about 36, just laying flat without any like stretching or anything after blocking. I have to say, if you ever do this ladder back jacquard method, it does definitely need blocking to get it to the right dimensions. It seems like that extra layer under there, it's almost like double knitting. It definitely kind of pulls it in a little bit, but it's not it doesn't give resistance. It just is like this stretchy little layer in the back that before blocking kind of cinched in the fabric a bit. Yeah, but one thing I do like about it is, unlike regular picking up your floats, I feel like that can give a lot of I want to say stiffness, but that's not it. Reduces the elasticity of the fabric. The ladder back jacquard seems to maintain a lot more of that stretchiness as compared to regular methods for picking up floats. So I am close, but still not quite there. I guess my gauge was a little bit smaller. I could easily stretch it to be 37.5 inches, but just laying it down and measuring it, it's 36. Yes. So when I do my measurement, I just lay it flat and measure straight, and I got 18 inches. So doubling that gave me the 36 inches for the circumference there. The sleeve circumference. So here's what happened with those. I initially did the body in one sleeve using the pattern and using the ladder back jacquard on the sleeve. This gave me an upper circumference here of almost 10 inches, which that was probably a little bit with stretching too. For some reason, it just measured rather small there. I don't know if it had to do, maybe I picked up my stitches kind of tightly or what it was. And with that ladder back jacquard, and then there are decreases in the pattern for the sleeve, it was just snug. I have a picture of it on her, and she did not want snug sleeves at all. So when I decided to remake it, I unraveled the sleeve and remade it, and I actually cast on, or picked up rather, a few extra stitches, the next size up in the stitch count, and then I didn't do any decreases. Actually, I did like 2 rounds of decreases, and then I just went straight. So I ended up, I think, with the sleeve count of what you would pick up for the smallest size, but I knit that straight. But I started with the second size sleeve pickup and then just decreased a few stitches to end up with the size 1 stitch count, but then knit straight, unlike the pattern. The pattern has you do decreases to have a more fitted sleeve, but she did not want that. So, and I picked up, did the float pickups just like a normal float pickups. So I think that turned out really nicely. And she definitely likes the flowier, the billowy, slightly more billowy. It's still not huge by any means, but it's definitely a little bit wider. When I got to the cuff, I did not do any decreases. I went down to the ribbing needle, which is like 2 sizes smaller. I used the suggested needle sizes for the sweater. Yes, so it's a 2x1 twisted rib sleeve cuff, and I did that just like the pattern says, and I didn't do any decreases from my sleeve to the cuffs. They're just a little bit tighter because of the needle size, and that twisted ribbing tends to be snug. It tends to make your stitches tighter, I think. Let's see. D. D is the sleeve length. So the pattern says 19 inches. When I first made it, it was 18 inches. And this second round, it was measuring 20 inches prior to blocking. After blocking, it is measuring 23 inches. So it hits her like maybe mid palm, which is what she wanted. She wanted them to hang over her hands a little bit. And then the body length is, it says to make it 10 inches across the board for every size. And I guess that's because of the horse pattern, and you're supposed to just do the horse pattern and then split for your sleeves and go, unless you want the pattern to be longer. Mine, I did split for the sleeves right after the horsey pattern, but I still have, I think it's about 14 and a half inches, including the hem. So for some reason, my stitches are a little bit longer than her gauge. So it made this section just a little bit longer. But the length is really good for her. She didn't want it super short and cropped. She wanted it just kind of a normal sweater length, like, I don't know, below her pants waistline. So around hip length or so. And that's what it is. I think those are all of the measurements for this sweater. I enjoyed making it. It was fun to have the different stuff going on in this pattern. I liked that my contrast color was not solid, but it was definitely a contrast enough that the horses stand out greatly. Yeah, I didn't love doing color work where it has a huge gap. That ideally the ladderback jacquard is kind of the best method for that. So that wasn't my favorite, but the end result was worth it, and it really wasn't too bad. It was kind of fun doing something a little bit new. It wasn't my first time using that method, but I think it was the biggest project I've ever tried it on. So yeah, I really like it. She loves it. It's very soft, next to skin soft. It is a superwash yarn. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. It does have shoulder shaping in it. It's lovely. So thank you for watching, and I have my Salty Days sweater that I just took off the needle, so that finished object video is coming up soon. I'll talk to you guys later. Let me know if you have knit the Neigh sweater or the Ghost Horses sweater, which is another one that I have also knit for myself and for my daughter. Yeah, let me know what you thought. Bye. One more thing I want to tell you about the ladderback jacquard, in case you are interested. So it's kind of a double knitting, but you have to end that somewhere. So if I can show it to you here, maybe I'll just flip it, whole thing. Okay, this is the inside of the Ghost Horses sweater, using that ladderback jacquard method for the main body. and just regular picking up on the sleeves. And you can totally see the horsey. So in the majority of the horse, you don't actually need to pick up floats because of the way the pattern is done. It has little spots of your main color throughout the horse. So you don't have to worry about that, which is nice. But on these bigger sections, like right here, I did the ladder back to card so you didn't have it showing through. The one thing I wanted to show you guys was at some point in time you are ending this contrast color that you did the horses in. And if you have that ladder back to card and you have that second knit section, I just basically knit them together with the main color in the very last row there, which seems to have worked just fine. I also did ladder back to card for the main color on parts of the head here. And so on the front side, I think that those little times when I had to have those stitches, the contrast and the main color knit together to end the ladder back to card color work, it kind of looks like a float. Like you're picking up a float like regular catching floats. So I did want to show you that in case you're interested. All right, that's all. Another Coast to Coast wrap kit is going out with pumpkin and dark and stormy, and the Mexican hot chocolate with the reds and browns, caramel macchiato, and matcha green tea latte. I have 3 beautiful coffee with cream going out this morning, and I dyed them all up together since they were ordered together to try to get as close to the same tones in each skein as possible. With hand dyeing from batch to batch, they can be a little varied.